What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today in this video I'll be showing you the tips and tricks that I used in my game to make it feel a lot more fun to play and a lot smoother, so you'd be able to apply these to your own games and maybe share the advice with other people. So let's get straight into this. Also guys, I really wanted to say I know my game isn't perfect, and a lot of these are coming from word of friends, family, and how I view my game. So a lot of this is based off of more personal opinion. So yeah, just make sure you're taking the advice in that kind of aspect. Anyways, let's get back to the video. So for one of the first things I did, I intentionally made it so that there was a lot of smooth gameplay aspects, like the animations and making them very bouncy and smooth to make the game feel alive, which is one really big aspect you'd really want to keep, especially if your game is a very active game where you're constantly moving around and shooting or throwing enemies and stuff like that. But on top of that, I did a mix of both smooth gameplay and very snappy gameplay. Specifically, I had snappy gameplay in parts where you would need it to be snappy. For example, when you're grabbing and throwing the enemy, you'd want that to be quick and snappy so that the player would be able to do what they need to do. In case the game gets a little more difficult for difficult games, you'd want some aspects to be snappy and some aspects to be smooth. Kind of a mix of the two makes the game feel really intentional, and really a balance of the two is really what you're looking for when making fast gameplay. Actually, as a matter of fact, any good gameplay would usually result in a mix of the two to really keep a good flow. Flow is really what you'd be looking for a lot of the times. And for my upcoming tip, you're not going to want to miss it, because this will make your game 10 times better. The next thing I'm going to touch upon is colors. The look and color of your game is really, really important when it comes to game developing and overall style of the game. If you need a good style to fit what you're going to be doing in your game. So for example, my game, as you can see, it's very bright, flashy lights. You got all sorts of things going on. It's very active and alive game. Although I don't have a set color palette yet, you can see the baseline of it. It's very bright, colorful, flashy game that fits with the fast-paced style and slight difficulty aspect to it. That's a really important thing to get your color style and your idea right. And once you put those two together, your game's gonna look and feel amazing to play. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be eye candy, pretty much. Now, those two tips were great, but this next one I use in almost all of my games. Particles. Now, this isn't for every game, but if you can add it and it fits your style, particles is amazing in my opinion. I love adding particles to the game. It adds kind of an explosive aspect. It really makes your game feel alive, and it's a really fun thing just in general to see in games when there's a lot of particles going on, and it's like it fills up the atmosphere in a good way. And I really have a lot of particles in my enemies, in my bomb. I always add particles in almost everything because I just feel it just makes the game feel so much more alive than it could be, you know, which is something that you really, really need.
Also, another quick intermission. Particles, I feel like I was being a little over dramatic. No particles is all right. I mean, it's really for like really fast paced gameplay, and if it's also optimizing strategy. So this is like 50-50 preference, but let's get back to the video.
And here's the difference between particles and no particles. There's a really big difference between the two, though this one is debatable because it doesn't fit every game. Just keep that in mind. Now, this next tip is going to be really important, and this does apply to every game, so make sure you don't miss it. This next tip is UI/UX design. That is something every game needs. You need a really good UI/UX design. User interface design is pretty much how easily usable and how easily accessible your UI is, like the health bar, XP, points, levels, like all that stuff. Pretty much how easy it is to see. And one really important thing is, if you have a fast-paced and more difficult game like mine, you need a very visible but not obstructing UI. It's really important to get that mix between visibility and obstruction, because it's really easy to get it wrong, and that can mess up your entire game. So make sure not to mess that up. So in my game, what I did was I made it so that your health bar is very visible and it shows your XP and your combo count right in front of you, but I also made it transparent so that you can see through it. So when you're playing the game, you can play the game without it being such a big obstruction instead of just having it too, but also I made it very visible and easy to see when you need it. So it's easy to access your health bar and know what health you're at when you need it. And that's one thing that a lot of games actually do mess up on. It's very easy to make that mistake. You're gonna make sure you want to do that. Quick intermission. This video and all my other videos take forever to make. On top of school and actual game development, editing, all of that takes a heck of a bunch of my time. And all I'm asking for is please subscribe. It helps me out in the long run and it allows me to give you guys more content. So please make sure you like this video, subscribe, and watch all the way through the end. Help me out a bit. And yeah. Anyways, back to the video. And for this final tip, it's something everyone needs. Not even just in game development, but in content creation, in filmmaking, editing, in almost any aspect of creation and design. This next tip is the most important, and you probably heard it the most. It's player feedback or user feedback is by far the most important thing you need in your game. If you have a game, send it to people. Just let people play it. Let people test it out. Let them tell you what's good and what's bad, what's wrong with it, what's, should be changed, anything should be changed. Let other people test out your game. Because when you're playing your game, you play it a lot. And if it's just play testing or you genuinely enjoy it, you play your game a lot and you tend to look over a lot of aspects and you tend to view your game differently than other people. And other people are going to be the ones playing the game. So if you really want to make sure your game is fun and enjoyable, make sure you're getting other people and players' feedback, because without that, you're screwed pretty much. So make sure that you're letting other people play test your game, because without that, you don't know what could be wrong with it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do hope you enjoyed. Please, please, please make sure you smash that like button and subscribe for the next one. I will be dropping another devlog very soon. This was kind of just like a tutorial video. I kind of wanted to show people what helped me personally making my game. Personally, I think it's pretty fun. I'm going to be using that feedback method too in a little bit, because I'm going to be dropping a demo, a very early demo of the game so that you guys can test it out. I'm also going to be sending it to friends and family so they can test it out, which is why feedback is still one of the most important things you could be doing with your game. But yeah, guys, I truly do hope you enjoyed. Please stick around for the next one, and God bless.